I know personally a few collectors that spend their own money yearly and support museums just in order because they don't get enough from the state and from the funds, you know.
The biggest thing that you can do for your education is to put yourself outside of your home culture.
You know, the whole non-art world is speaking about why art shouldn't be taken so serious because it's just a banana, I can do it as well, blah, 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 blah. So why didn't you do it?
Hello everyone, welcome to Art Seen and Unseen. My name is Gabriel Brockman. I'm here with my co-host Patrik Steinhauser, and we're here to talk about art and how it's seen, art and sometimes how it goes unseen, and also, Patrik is a gallerist, owns Steinhauser Gallery, of course, so he has a lot of insider knowledge on what happens behind the scenes in the art world. I'm what you would call a burgeoning collector, but longtime artist. And this is just us talking about art and what we find interesting in this. And we welcome you to come along with us for the ride and enjoy. Today we're going to talk about cultural exchange, basically artists going into other cultures or visiting and exchanging art. We see that quite often, especially around your gallery, as that's your primary focus.
It is, yeah, it is.
Why did you choose international artists versus, what most galleries in Slovak, Czech Republic do is focus on local artists?
Because I can.
I love this.
I don't want to sound cocky, but it
was a trap. I knew this answer, and I love the answer. And
the thing is that these relationships you establish them, for a long time during the years. There needs to be a trust that has to be built between the artist, the gallerist, between the partner gallery when you work with representative galleries. So it's about that, and we did it in the past. So when we started with our gallery 2 years ago, it was just a very organic and natural feel that we need to do that. And we thought, my wife, that is also part of the gallery with me, of course, that Bratislava, Slovakia scene is urging and it needs that, there, of course, there is good galleries in Bratislava that do a proper job, and they also try to, establish themselves a little bit more through art fairs on the international level. But it's not easy. It takes time, it takes efforts, energy, money, of course, and coming from abroad. And bringing, some sort of a different insight probably, and also a different DNA through the time. It's just natural to do it, and we hope that we will help also the other galleries, but most likely the scene, the artists, to be a bit more visible abroad, and that's what we do, and that's something that I think every institution should do. And there is institutions in Switzerland, they support, like for example, you can apply at some sort of a cultural institution as a Swiss artist, and you get funds for the international exhibitions. So where do we have this here in Slovakia? We don't. So and
less even now. There was some of that funding available, not too distant past, but there certainly there's always been an exchange of art between Slovak and Czech Republic.
Yes. It's very close.
There is a reason it was Czechoslovakia for so many years.
Czech artists just around us, like Richard Štipl, Jan Kovařík.
We're sitting in a space that was designed for these types of these cultural exchanges, and I think it's really. One of the things I always tell students, I used to work in schools and as an educator, and the biggest thing that you can do for your education is to put yourself outside of your home culture, your home comfort zone.
Yes.
Travel abroad, study abroad, spend time with different peoples, different cultures. And that's super true for art. If you're only consuming the same kind of art all the time,
it will reflect your work in a huge way, and you don't want to be just the joke of the hood, you know. You want to be perceived on a global scale in best case. So your topic that you would like to communicate as an artist should be understood in different countries. And
it's a visual medium. You don't need language to explain it.
And in best case, but if you stay in the hood, and you will stay always the joke of the hood, you know. And then I don't know if that is something that an artist should achieve. So yes, you need to travel. There's many artists that do that from Slovakia. They go to these residencies in Paris, in Israel, you know, and what have you.
I'm missing the other way. I'm missing that coming this way as well. I think with spaces like this, you know, we're in ZOYA Museum at the moment, which we've talked about a little bit in a previous podcast. Or another podcast. We don't know if it's previous or not.
We'll see.
But this is a great space, and it was designed, purpose-built for exhibiting art. Initially
for Warhol.
For Warhol, a Warhol collection. But it's had a number of exhibitions.
Tony Craig, Kondo was hanging here, you know, what have you, Leopold Rabu, you know, I mean, they're quite big names, international good artists.
And it's, you travel through kind of villages to get here, and a great space. And having that in the middle of this kind of unseen space is really cool.
It is, but you know, it is a private project, which means that it's privately owned. So I would love to see more of this here in Slovakia. Like, there is plenty of very wealthy people here. People don't know, but there is a lot of money here, especially accumulated in Bratislava. And of course, some of these people are collectors. They do usually collect, from what I understood, more like Slovak modern, you know, these kind of. But this is opening, as I said in the previous podcast.
There's a really good example of a gallery that opened because of a private collection. It's called Nedbalka. It's in the heart of Old Town.
Not far away from our gallery.
Yeah, it's very close. Everything is in walking distance.
We are in the center. And we are pretty much in the center of everything.
So if you want a walking tour where you don't want to have to walk as much, it's a great place for that. Highly recommend it. And we were saying as well that it's a really good hub because it's very centrally located. It's the old heart of the Bohemian Empire. The Holy Roman Empire used to have the crown jewels in Bratislava, and it's close to Vienna, it's close to Budapest, Prague. And for that reason, the fact that we can pull people in from these different, Czech Republic isn't so much a different culture, but if you meet a Czech and you really get to know a Czech, and you meet a Slovak and you really get to know
they're
different. They're very different.
They are.
And you know, it's like you know, back in the States, the difference between, you know, someone from Chicago versus someone from Green Bay, totally different people.
Absolutely, I mean,
but even closer.
Talk to somebody from Munich and try to talk to somebody from Hamburg. I mean, that's different worlds, in my opinion.
So to have a place where it's so easy to travel and it's so easy to mix these kind of cultural centers, like maybe even epicenters. It's really ripe for cultural exchange, in my opinion. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about this Central Europe region in general, is that there are so many different cultures. There are so many different artistic ideas being represented, being showcased, being practiced, being shared, that it's really important to talk about how do we foster more cultural exchange, bringing more artists in, creating spaces for those. You mentioned the public funds that are available for exhibiting artists, and I think we can. How do we do that if we don't have those public funds available?
I think it's not going to work without private money, private equity, private capital. So what I wanted to draw out a bit, that there is enough funds, there is enough people who could spend money with their companies, that it's even going to be some, maybe even tax relief or whatever, but or even if they are emotionally in it and would like to do it privately because they would like to support art, and not in particular only No, they can support Slovak art, but they need to understand that this is a one-way direction. So they have to open. They support Slovak artists, Slovak art, but they have to open to the international, because otherwise you always go more narrow and narrow.
Boundary.
And you know, you can see already the wall on the other side, and you will hit the wall in one day or another. So what's the point? So you have to open up. It should be something institutional. If you don't speak about institution because they are working or not working, and that's a topic that could be, you know, an own podcast, and is a subjective view of mine, I would say. But if you see other markets, as you said, you know, the real very good working capitals where art is a huge topic, Vienna, Munich, whatever, Prague, of course. There's a lot of private money in this and support in this. You know, I know personally a few collectors that spend their own money yearly and support museums just in order, because they don't get enough from the state and from the funds, you know. So it's a very noble thing. Of course, there is also some advantages for these people.
It can be.
It shouldn't be only noble, I guess. But you know, we need to get we need to get this done in Slovakia as well, and I think we are on a good. We should start with that somewhere, and we will be on a good way when people understand, when these people that understand how much responsibility they have with that.
Welcome back to Art Seen and Unseen. I'm here with Patrik Steinhauser. My name is Gabriel Brockman, and today we're talking about cultural exchange. We're talking about bringing art and artists from other places and taking our artists, our local artists, out abroad as well. We've seen a couple, I would say, really successful artists, living artists right now, Maria Schwarbova and Jan Dubrovsky. Recent exhibitions abroad. I'm sure you're aware of others, but I was really surprised to find out that, for example, Schwarbova was more popular outside of Slovakia than I mentioned, her to someone, and they're like, "Oh, who's that?" And I was like, "What do you mean, who's that?" How do you I mean, if you're looking at photography and this kind of space. She's really well known.
But what does it say about the Slovak art?
Maybe a little bit.
There is a lot of education that has to be done, a lot of information that needs to be transferred to the people, and
so that's partly on us.
Yes, it is,
and why we're here.
Yes, absolutely, and we still have a lot to do, which is good, which is great. That's why we are here, and. I mean, these two names that you have mentioned, they are respected in abroad, and I think what I see for both names, that they get more and more respect and attention in Slovakia as well, so it's great for them. Don't know them personally, both of them, so can't say anything about their work. But I would love to see more Slovak artists hitting the stages and being successful in that manners, So
I mean, I think it's wild. Like you said, when you bring international people to visit and you show them these hidden gems, like ZOYA, like Danubiana. Oh my God! Like you walk into that place and people are like. This exists here, you see their
sparkling in the eyes,
and their preconceived notions, just you see them just absolutely shattered like glass, and it just opens up this, okay, but how and where and all it takes is that one visit.
Absolutely, and you can see a museum in mid-Europe on the Danube. Literally on the Danube, built on the Danube as a ship, and you're surrounded by water.
Architectural space is pretty wild.
I mean, that's amazing. We don't have to talk about that. So there, we have some groundwork here, and we need to build on it, and it takes
some infrastructure. We have the ability, or at least the facility to do it.
What does it take? It takes responsibility, some sort of boldness, some sort of risk, investing also own money, not only as a producer or a gallerist, but also as a collector.
Yep.
You do invest into the artist, into that gallery, into that museum when you are a member of the museum, just in order that you want to see it grow, you want to see it, elevate.
Yep. Well, we were talking in the provenance discussion how when artworks are bought and then immediately displayed in an institution or bought by an institution for the purpose of displaying, the artist, they get elevated. Yeah, they don't just, they go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're part of that collection, like, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to drive that?
It can change your career as an artist.
Huge.
And
as a collector as well.
As a collector as well. When you bought this artist in the early stage, and it is a good quality work and very important in the whole oeuvre of this artist. Well, perfectly done.
Yeah.
And congratulations for that.
Congratulations.
Yes. But who does that? I mean, it should be the gallery who tries to establish this artist, who tries to do the work, the shadow work, I would say, even in
the unseen work.
Unseen work, exactly. In giving the space or your space as a gallerist to a certain idea to exhibit something and trying to make it also marketing-wise the best possible exhibition. That's what we actually try to do, to attach as many visitors as possible, to have collectors' dinners, to invest in that as well, just to communicate this idea or the artist or the group show, whatever you have in your gallery, the best possible way, because it's about communication. That's what we do right now. That's what we do with the audience that watches this podcast. And it's a sort of responsibility, and it's, as I said in an earlier podcast, it's a proactive approach. It's a do-it-yourself approach that I see as a very important thing.
A bootstrap mentality.
Exactly. Yeah.
If
just do it.
Yeah. If no one else is going to do it, like sometimes.
And if you fail, you fail. Whatever, Then at least you try it.
Every artist I know is very, very accustomed to failure.
Yes.
The very few that really kind of hit the ground and know what they're about, what they're doing, and just like, this is my thing, this is what I do. And I think that's super rare, and I think it's unfair to project that kind of success onto other artists, because art really is, as we've talked many times before, it's about making the internal external, sharing a really piece of you, cutting off a piece of your arm or bleeding on something. I don't know how many times I've bled on a sculpture or or something. Yeah. There's literally my DNA physically stuck inside of that art object, and I think that's really important. And then to make that external such that it can be shared. It's such a cool. That's why we make art, I guess, right?
Well,
trade art.
I mean, there is many different approaches for an artist why he or she is doing what they are doing. The best, I think, for me, or the most interesting, not the best, but the most interesting motivation is that you are trying to heal your inner demons and express it in the outer world. But there is also other approaches. There is an egocentric approach that you just would like to be seen and have a name in it, and there can be also a monetary approach that somebody understands. Well, that's the
this
part
is the
that's
product.
It's a product, and I would like to earn quite a lot of money with that, and it's possible, so I do it.
Multiple angles.
Multiple angles why you are doing what you are doing as an artist. But I think, for me personally, as a collector, the most honest one is that you would really like to communicate something that you really need to see in the other world. I mean, I think in
my early days, it was always, some existential dread or, some fear or hurt, you know. And this is quite natural, but it's also really fun and liberating to share
and then you make a sculpture or you paint a painting which is completely black and dark, and then I have these collectors, or these not collectors, but these people in my gallery. no, that's too negative for me. I can't hang this on my
Yeah.
wall. You know, it's like, you didn't get the point, but anyway, it's fine. You know, that's your approach, how you see it, and that's all fine. But of course, you shouldn't be afraid as a real gallery or galleries to show the broken part of the artist, even though it may hurt or affect the viewers in a special way. You know, I mean, it's the journey of this respective artist, and it should be respected.
And learning about how to talk about art, you know, it was always this discussion of what is art, you know, where does it come from?
What is art? What is
art?
not?
Yeah,
what should it be?
Yeah, and that was always kind of my answer is like, well, art is what I want art to be. And, you know, I was like, okay, if you see a particular, you know, moment, you know, or an arrangement of pebbles in a stream at a certain amount, that can be art because you put the intention into it to make it art. And then, you know, there are people who are like, well, it has to have a human hand involved in it. I was like, okay, maybe somebody arranged those and I don't know about it. Does that change my resonance with that piece?
What about Rubens? You know, that's a well-known artist, one of the first ones that I maybe even the first one that had this students that painted for him, you know. So nowadays, you know, it's a huge discussion if it's a real Rubens painted by himself or if it's
it was one of his
all of his students, which makes it, you know, probably in value there's of course a huge difference. So, but it's done by human hand, but you don't know if it's done by him or by his pupils, you know.
Yeah, but it's a Rubens.
It's a Rubens. You have the stamp, you have the signature, you have the provenance.
You have the provenance,
yeah. I've been dealing with one Rubens many years ago when it was a huge canvas and it got into a burning house or whatever, and 80% of it was burned, so they could just cut out section. one section of it. And I've had this conversation if it's a real Rubens or if it's just you know, one of his students. So I'm a bit aware of that. And that's what we have also said in the previous episode about Modigliani or Picasso, you know, that's all.
I mean, I think at a certain point, the myth or the legend of the item kind of takes over. I mean, certainly if you find out it is not painted by Rubens, then you're like, oh, well, crap, I paid for it like it was, you know. But I think at the same point, like, you know, we saw this with Banksy and his you know, stunt with that, you know,
a nice marketing campaign, I would say.
Brilliant! Like, I mean, we can get into that one some other day.
Or Catalan with his banana,
the banana on the wall, and the Cyber Lemon exhibit at Docks in Prague right now. Prague, with lemons nailed to the wall, which are deteriorating.
Heineck Martinez.
Martinez, thank you. And but those ideas, that's the crux of what we're here.
But you know, when we speak about, just coming back to Banksy, you know, his auction, or also to Catalan, it's very amazing. I don't read all the articles because I don't need to read 10 articles about the banana. You know, I understood what this was the intention for that. You know, but you know, the whole non-art world is speaking about that as if this would be the art, and why art shouldn't be taken so serious because it's just a banana. I can do it as well. Blah 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 blah. So why didn't you do it?
Or you know, there's a famous, I don't know if it's TikTok or whatever, a video that goes around like, you know, art these days, and this guy pulls a sticker off a bucket and the sand drains out and falls over, and there's a guy sitting on the slapping butter or something, you know. And
there is an invisible sale, there is an invisible sculpture that somebody sold for 18K or something. I have read about it.
And then you go into the digital realm where you're selling NFTs, you know, which are, you know, digital items. Like, I mean, there's so many wild things going on.
But it's also a sort of critique of the artist, I would say. I mean, that would be my interpretation, of course, about value in general and how we value things and what's around us. And art, of course, is just a part of that. You know,
it's a story. It's a record. Yeah. And I mean, I think for me, I would be super happy to own a Rubens. I don't care if it was made by Rubens or if it was Rubens' student.
I really like Rubens.
But the idea that, okay, even if it was done by a student, Rubens was looking at it.
He
put his name on it, you know.
Absolutely.
So he either saw enough in that he was confident to put it out as his, or he actually had a hand in
Yeah.
maybe fixing it or changing
Yes,
it,
yes.
which is another topic we talk about. You know, somebody starting with an AI and then re-engineering that AI impetus, and at which point does it then transcend? You know, who's the creator? And we're definitely getting into an era where the creator has become more mysterious. Banksy himself was like the whole point of Banksy was no one knew who he was.
Yeah, but look, I mean, Rubens' story is quite interesting, even when you compare it to, for example, Andy Warhol, who did it on another level, but made the product out of it. But I think Rubens made the same, because he had this very wealthy donors that wanted to
pieces.
have pieces, and
Didn't
he was
have the time.
not able to do it all by himself, so he hired this student, outsourced it. Exactly. You know, it's about business.
Yeah.
Again, we are at the same question, so it's nothing contemporary that. Because I know some critic people that say art should be public, shouldn't cost anything, blah 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 blah. I don't share this opinion at all, because even if I want to see a public piece in the museum, a state-owned museum, I have to go there. So I have to pay for the fuel, I have to pay for the car or public transportation. If I want to see it online, I have to pay my bills for electricity. Everything costs money. So art is always.
It costs money to make the art.
Yeah, exactly.
The artist has to eat, sleep, live, have a studio, the materials, the time, the education, the expertise. That money has to come from somewhere, and if all art is public, then it comes from a public source, and this is a big problem.
This can be a problem.
So we're here with the Art Seen and Unseen podcast. My name is Gabriel Brockman. I'm here with Patrik Steinhauser. And we're talking about cultural exchange, how to bring artists from international scenes into the space, how to create that space, where do you get the funds for it? We just talked about art being public versus being privately supported. And I think we both are very much in the camp that it should be both.
Yeah.
If you have one source of funding for art, then that source can be corrupted, or at least curated, or
it can try to control your situation as an artist or as
and
a
I think
resident.
That's worse than not having free access to art. Like, I think a lot of the argument for art being public is that if somebody buys a Rubens and then only has it in their bedroom and no one else gets to see it, people feel like that's unfair. Okay, to a certain extent, I think that maybe if they bought all of the Rubens in all of the world and you couldn't see a Rubens anywhere but in this guy's house, then it would be.
I think it's a very private decision you have to make as a collector. I mean, if you buy a Rubens, you are already considered to be a collector, I would say.
A real collector.
And if it's your decision to hide it from public for whatever reason, that's your personal decision. I mean, come on. I mean, what is my position to tell you something else? You know. So yes, of course, we don't want the other extreme to have everything in private hands, and not one of these collectors or collections is going to make their collections public. Then of course that would be also the other extreme. But we are not there. I mean, there is many good and big collections that are seeking the external.
Earlier, I mean, collection, essentially.
Exactly. That they are seeking a way how to invest into a proper. Building, property, whatever, to show it to the public for a little entrance or even for free, as it is here in ZOYA, and
free.
It has to have balance for free, like
after driving.
Charge. I mean, you don't have to buy a ticket, but even if they would charge €10, I mean, I think it's worth to visit, and it has to have some balance, and that's again my personal subjective view, if I may say. I think it's a little bit, or it was a little bit unbalanced in Slovakia. That's what I feel as an external. You can criticize me now for that, but
well, we both come from outside of Slovakia. I've been here 15 years, and in that time, I've seen basically really acceleration of, I would say, modernizing the city of Bratislava, especially. You know, when I first moved here 15 years ago, it was very difficult to find an IPA. You know, you couldn't find microbreweries. Like Stupivar wasn't brewing yet. You know, Kaltenecker wasn't. Yeah, they were existing, but they weren't on the scene. You know, and now Czech Republic has so many good, you know, microbreweries, and I think that was a reaction to a demand for seeing these things. So I think we're also seeing this also in the art scene as well. We're seeing new galleries that are opening up, and we're seeing new artists coming in. I'm seeing also new collectors. Like I haven't been collecting that long, but certainly for, you know, more than 15 years. But in Slovakia in the early days, we would see the same people in the gallery openings and in the auctions. And now every time we go, I see new people, and I see not just new people, but new people like throwing up numbers. You know,
but look at I mean, also the local press, like magazines, they write more and more about art and how to play with it, how to collect, how to sell or resell or whatever. So
programs like EduArt is really good program. Can't recommend it enough. If you are art curious, if you're a collector already, if you've never collected a piece in your life, just the experience of that program is really wild. Visits to artist studios, which are exclusive to art to EduArt. Like a lot of artists are often very,
but you know,
private.
Let's get a bit you know, concrete. And for example, I've been there yesterday because I just came from Prague, and I've just been shortly at the JNT, which is one of the biggest investment banks here in Slovakia or Czechoslovakia, one of the bigger player. And you know, they have their art hub with a proper program in Prague, but they don't have this, although they are here in Bratislava, although they are actually, the owners are Slovaks, you know, and they live, I think, partly even here. So I don't know all the history about that, but why? Why not? Why do these, let's say, companies, or what gives them these incentives, you know, to open or not open something that they would like to support in a cultural manner? I know that, don't want to criticize anybody, because I know that there is certain projects with Slovak National Gallery that you know, several banks or investment companies were involved, and that's all running well. But I think we need more of that. That's what I want to say. Let's keep it positive. We need more of that. It's great that some of them are active, even when it's only in Czech Republic. But you know, let's talk about Slovakia, and then let's talk about V4 as a whole. You know.
I mean, the whole region, really, like the amount of skill that you see in the artists and in the culture and the drive behind the artists is really strong. And really, I mean, as an outsider, I was very impressed by it. Like, my expectations were, you know, like most people when they come to visit, like, and then you're like, we go regularly to Danubiana because it's just such a cool space to sit. The works that they have on display, the sculpture garden, the architecture of the space, the rotating exhibits are consistently really good, I would say.
But also, you know, I don't know if you mentioned it, but also the private galleries, and I'm as a gallerist, I'm super happy to see new galleries popping up, and you know, I think it should be supported in any way. And we have in Bratislava a few really, I think, ones that are doing a good job. I mean, we can name them. It's Vunu, Koma, Umrian, White and Weiss, exactly. Zahorian van Espen are doing a good job, I guess. Also, they're very well known. Thank you. But you know, I would love to see even more, even another international player who brings maybe his or her own idea how art should be.
We were talking about
displayed,
the Balkan scene as well. Maybe that would be cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if you're out there, welcome.
Yes.
Come talk to us.
Yes.
Find us at Steinhauser Gallery on a Saturday. Most Saturdays, we're there talking like we are now.
Yeah.
Just not on camera. It's. I think one of the nice things about Slovak culture in general is that it's very welcoming.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, almost feel at home because I'm from the Midwest.
I'm from Germany. I know what it can be, or what it means to be, a friendly or the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, the culture is very welcoming, and it's rather open-minded, I would say. Although I think there is probably people who would say the opposite due to the political situation nowadays, but we don't want to go into that.
You can say that about where I'm from as well.
Yeah, you can say that about Germany, US, I think everywhere.
You can't people with the same color.
So, but in general, I think, the education here is to be friendly and to open-minded.
And I think the education environment, both here, Prague, I think Prague also does a really good job with art education.
Amazing.
And, the VŠVU, Academy of Fine Art and Design here in Bratislava. The way they're approaching it is, as you said, there are multiple reasons why you can make art or why you would make art. And I think as an educational institution, I think Slovakia does a pretty good job of preparing artists to be thinkers. I think maybe we're not so good about preparing them to enter the world of art as a profession, and so I think
and business.
As a profession or a business, and I think that's something where I'm personally looking at. And I think it's important wherever you see that niche, like you said in the beginning, why external? Because I can.
Yeah.
If you can,
try.
Do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the question would be, I don't know, you will probably be more familiar about that, but do we have a residency for artists here in Slovakia that invites international artists to be here for 1 month, 2 months, or something?
That I'm aware of.
So why is that? Why nobody's investing?
I'll let you in on a secret. I'm looking into it.
Okay, that would be amazing. It would help a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, every activity is helpful.
Yeah. What an amazing discussion again.
Thank you.
I want to do another one right away, but I think we're out of time in this space. It's been nice to be here at the ZOYA Museum, which is in Modra in Slovakia. Special thanks to the owners of the space. It is a private space, so they let us come here and hang out. Beautiful pieces on display. Patrik was part of setting this up as well. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Gabriel Brockman. This has been Patrik Steinhauser, and behind our camera is Marek Bartovich. He's our producer, and all general purpose makes this thing happen. So thank you there. Thank you, Patrik, for joining us again, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thanks. See you.